All right, so I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into freelancing for someone that's never freelanced. So this is just kind of primer on this portion of getting experience and getting paid while you're working and getting experience. First question that I would address if I was starting all over again and I needed to go from zero experience to enough experience to land a full-time job would be landing that first client. All right, so that's the first. When you don't have any social proof, you don't have any reviews or reputation. So the very first thing that I would do to land a client would be, I would talk to what I'd call friendlies, people that are family and friends that might have a business, or they might have a need. Maybe they need a professional website for their projects or portfolios, like another person that's breaking in, maybe not into tech, but maybe they're breaking in, they just graduated from law school and they need sort of a personal portfolio site. So I'd see if I can do some projects for individuals that could add value for them and could get me a testimonial and a review that I could then publicly use as social proof to try and get the next few projects. So that's the first thing. Go to your friendlies, talk to them first, see if there's anything you can do. I get a sister who has a dog walking business. You know, I could go to her and say, hey, let me help you improve your web presence. Let me make sure you have a Google business profile, etc. Right? So start with people closest to you. Then the next thing that I would do is I would go to local businesses. So I would get out, walk the street, go to your local, strip mall, and talk to some of the small business owners and see if they need help with either their website or sometimes just their web presence. Like, I can't tell you the number of times me and my wife are trying to decide what we're gonna have for lunch, and I look up a restaurant. I'm like, okay, let's eat here. And then it's just convoluted to get to their menu or to check out, or the link from Google is broken to take them to their website. Like, I swear to God, it happens roughly 20% of the time. And then I get angry because then my wife doesn't want to eat there because we can't get the order in. So the thing I struggle with the most is it doesn't require that much effort to add a lot of value for a lot of small businesses, because this is sort of an afterthought for many of them. They don't get that much traffic from the web maybe, and it's just not something they maintain that well. That said, don't go to their business at a busy lunch hour or a busy evening hour and pitch them a website build. Instead, I would try and go during off hours. Try and not present an extra thing for the business owner, but instead something that could add value for them very quickly. So the types of projects that I would pitch in this particular case, and that are realistic for someone with 0 to 6 months of experience, are really small. Don't try and build any kind of systems. You might have a friend or family member that wants to build this elaborate software as a service company. That's not an ideal first project. An ideal first project is something like a simple tool or a website, or we call brochureware, something that helps people find out about someone's business and make contact with them. That's the ideal project for someone that doesn't have that much experience, because oftentimes without experience, you're not going to know just how large a project is. And so you could get yourself in way over your head way too quickly. The next question that I would have if I were starting over in freelancing would be, what do I charge folks? What's a realistic amount of money that someone might spend in order for them to get a project complete? When I pitch someone, even now with 30 plus years of experience, when I talk to someone about a website build, one of the first questions I try and get from them is what their budget looks like. And every single time it's like a game of cat and mouse. But the reality is I'm just trying to understand like where their budget lies. Is it 100 to 1,000? Is it 1,000, 5,000? Is it 25,000 and up? Like, the amount of budget will clearly indicate the type of services and resources we can bring to bear. But oftentimes people are just new to digital products. They're new to websites and software. And so they're just hesitant. They feel like they don't want to show their hand too quickly. All of that is just going to be part of the process of selling that you're going to have to find ways around. In many cases, it's just jokingly like, hey, what do you have in mind? $100, $1,000, $10,000? Like, what's the price range that you were thinking to invest in this particular project? Another way you can look at it is how much value is this going to bring to your business? Like, if I were to build you a new website and it were to bring you 5 or 10 extra leads a month, What would that be worth? What would that look like to your business? And price it based on the value that you're bringing back to them. Oftentimes, it could be a situation where you do it for a fixed price and you say, I will build this tool for you for this cost. That's in their favor. And especially as a new freelancer, you might find yourself eventually working for like $5 an hour because you didn't price it well. That's all right. Use it as a learning experience. You don't want to do a lot of projects like that, but you want to quickly learn about how much time and effort it takes. And the first few projects are literally going to be like loss leaders. What do I mean by loss leader? That's like when you go into the grocery store and they're selling apples or oranges or something else that's so cheap that you know they're not making any profit on it. But they're doing it to give you a deal to get you into the store because they know that once they get you in, you're going to shop. You're going to spend some dollars. So in this case, you're trying to get the first few projects under your belt so that you can get reviews and so that you can start building your reputation. So it's an exchange. You're going to do a few projects for less than what you will do when you're 5 or 10 years in. So you might ask, well, is there any shortcut or any way that I can find lots of projects in one place? And there is. You can go to Fiverr, you can go to Upwork. But the catch with those environments are that you're dealing with and you're competing with people all over the world. So you're going to have people that are in economies where they will not have to charge as much because their cost of living is much lower. So you're going to find yourself competing with people that are going to place really low, what you might consider a lowball bid or really low cost bids for software because it just doesn't cost them as much. And so they're willing to accept a lower rate. Now, again, can be advantageous for you because you can get in front of and get more proposals to more people faster. It just means that you're not going to get as many accepted because unless the client, the customer is looking to hire someone in the United States or that's local, they're often going to be very price sensitive and they're going to pick the lowest bid that seems reasonable. And that's probably not going to be your bid. I would say you can do better by just completely staying off Upwork and Fiverr and really leveraging your friends and family network first, then local businesses next, right? If just within a 30-minute radius of where you live, if you physically drive to where businesses are located and you go door to door and you say, I'm new to this, I'm super passionate, this is something I'd love to do for you and I can do it for you at a great rate. All I ask for in return is an honest and fair review to help me build my business. Now that you've gotten the projects done, I think the most important thing is to make sure that you ask the customer if you can use both screenshots of their work, maybe if there's a live site combined with your review and or your case study, you can start talking about this during job interviews and in conversations about full-time roles. So this is how that freelance to full-time bridge happens. You start doing project work, you're gaining experience over the course of maybe 6 months, you build up a few projects, you're making a little bit of income, and then you start leveraging that as the experience to land interviews, to talk about your experience during the interviews and sell your skill set, sell your capabilities, and show what you're able to do. This is how you make that bridge happen, right? You land your first few customers and then you build on that. Now you're not only getting paid, but you're gaining valuable hands-on experience. So when people ask, am I going to make a lot of money doing this? Should I charge a lot for it? My suggestion is try and strike a balance between bringing in enough income where you have the ability to sustain yourselves, to buy the tools that you might need in order for you to excel and be able to have access to the AI coding assistants, to be able to have roof over your head, rent paid, and not feel like you're stressing over, I only have a month of runway, and if I don't land a job, a permanent role full time, everything's going to fall apart. And then once you're out of that immediate danger and you're in a mode where you're just grinding, you're going to be in a much better position to be able to carefully pick the right pathway and which jobs are the ones that you really want to go after. If this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe. Drop me a comment down below if you've got suggestions for other videos. Please let me know. Using AI tools and a little bit of your software engineering skills is going to be something that can really help you to gain that experience and land that job much faster than most people think is possible.